a nice warm welcome for the one and only Cullen.
Wow. Wow, thank you. Wow. I've seen all of you guys just a little while ago. It's great to see you again. Wow.
Yeah, this is amazing. It's great to be here, and what a show out for you, of course. As always, I was with you in Richmond a few months ago, and it's like every single time we meet, your line is out the door. You have so many adoring fans, and it's obvious why. You've been such an amazing voice in this industry for so many years, and such a legacy that you've set with the characters that you portray. And I myself, on behalf of everyone, thank you so much for being here with us today in Knoxville.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. I would love to start, and of course, with the legacy of Optimus Prime. A character we've all come to know and love over the past 40 years, it seems. What does it mean to you to not only be able to voice this character, but I would love to know how important it is to set forth these traits of a hero that Optimus Prime stands for?
Well, I'm very lucky. I'm absolutely lucky for many reasons, but the opportunity to be Optimus Prime, that of course is the primary. How I came about being Optimus Prime is equally important. And I've told the story, I'm sure a lot of you know it, but it was due to my brother Larry. And Larry had returned from Vietnam, an officer in the Marine Corps. And yeah. And to all you guys out there and gals that fought, my heart goes out to you as much as it does for my brother Larry. But when Larry and I were living together in Hollywood, Burbank to be honest, Hollywood. Anyway, the audition cycle was in full gear, and was one of those days when I had to use the car that we shared and go to an audition for the Transformers, which had been talked about by a lot of actors that were part of that cattle call. And I was called to go to it and to read for a couple of parts. And one of them was Optimus Prime, and the other one I think was Ironhide and some other ones. But he said, constantly borrowing the car, Larry, he said, Peter, what do you need the car for? I said, Larry, I'm going to another audition. Okay. What is it this time, Pete? I said, I'm going to be a truck. And he laughed like you, and I said, but Larry, wait a minute now. The truck is a hero truck, he's a hero. And all of a sudden his demeanor changed, and he said, Peter, if you're going to be a hero, be a real hero. Don't be one of these loudmouth Hollywood guys, screaming and yelling, pretending he's tough. Be strong enough to be gentle. And it hit me, and the way he said it, it just hit me. And I'm driving to the audition, and I get there, and I'm looking at the breakdown of Optimus Prime, and one of the opening line, I think, was, My name is Optimus Prime. And it was Larry. And Larry's voice just came out. We have a similar voice, but you know, this is my natural voice, and when I do Optimus Prime, I'm impersonating my brother Larry. So, I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots from the planet Cybertron. And it just flowed. And I said, strong enough to be gentle. And it just stayed all the way through that monologue. And when I was finished, and I think I had to go and do Ironhide right after that, you know, so it was quite a jump from Optimus Prime to, oh, come on, let's kick some butt, you know. So, but I left the room, and I walked out, and I was getting into the car, and I said, Larry, thanks, Larry, jeez. If they don't pick you, they're nuts.
Well, they did, and luckily here we are. Yeah. Now you've been voicing Optimus Prime for a long time now.
1984.
And, yeah. And I wanted to ask you, how do you navigate the balance between staying true to a character's established voice and bringing something new to each performance?
Well, you know, every word has a sense of honesty, and you have to be honest with it. And I grapple with the script, and I look for the honesty and the importance of the honesty. I look for the message, I look for the feeling, I look for the good parts, and that I think they call acting. I am an actor. Oh, please forgive me. Anyway, and I'm grateful because I've always insisted, and especially in the later films, we didn't have that difficulty during the G1, but during the films where often is the case, you know, you're going to see a situation or a line that does not really become the character. I mean, he wouldn't say that. You know, I didn't have to say it often, but I did say it once or twice, and I said, you know, he wouldn't say that. And, you know, so, well, you know, the guy, whoever it was, you know, would say, well, yeah, let's go along with it, you know, we've got some plans. And, oh, yeah, okay. And as it turns out, you know, it turns out to be horrible, you know, horrible thing. But anyway.
Well, you mentioned acting, and I read that you trained at the National Theatre School of Canada.
I did.
And how did your training at the National Theatre School of Canada influence your approach to voice acting?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. The training in Canada was classical for the most part. We did have a lot of visiting people from New York and England, for example. They would come, and you know, we were pretty much entrenched in the Stanislavski method of acting, but a lot of the method people from New York City would come up and give lectures, and I thought that was kind of interesting. But I was a voice guy, and I got a lot of laughs growing up with my voice. And you know, if you get laughter and you can manufacture joy, you know that's going to be your calling. You know, you're going to do something you love to do for the rest of your life. You're never going to work a day. You know, you just. But fortunately, I got tired of acting in the serious sense of it. It just didn't agree with me. I mean, I guess everybody takes themselves so seriously, you know, and I'm funny. I like to be funny. So I ended up doing comedy, and then comedy eventually in Hollywood with so many sketch acting I did, the Sonny and Cher show, the Bobby Goldsboro show, the Richard Pryor show, the Hudson Brothers show, Jonathan Winters show, and all the comedy that I did. And I even worked at the Comedy Store one time, and wow. And I was doing all my good stuff, and nobody was laughing. I mean, I would laugh. But I'm looking through the dark like this. I'm on the stage, and I see the guys are like, they're writing all my stuff down. So I jumped off the stage and I went to the first table. I said, "Here, grab this paper." And I said, "Funny enough to write down, but not laugh." You know, and I walked out. So I figured, yeah, I'm not going to be a stand-up comic either. So I just started going to auditions that my agent was sending me to for the cartoons, and that's when it all hit. The cartoon business with Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Go, Frank.
Yeah,
It's like being in Tennessee and go Vols. Yeah.
I'm happy you brought up Frank Welker because, and this was my question to you, it's been said that iron sharpens iron. And the partnership between you and longtime friend and collaborator Frank Welker has left an indelible mark on the voice acting industry. How important to your career has the friendship been, and how has your connection over the years made you stronger and vice versa?
All of the above. I mean, yeah. To have the opportunity, number one, to work with a genius talent like Frank, I mean, he's the greatest voice man in the world. And I have had the opportunity not only to be a good friend and, and to work side by side with characters that, relate to each other, like Megatron and Prime, but it's always fun. I mean, he could make me laugh at the drop of a finger. I mean, he has a way of doing things, sounds that you've never heard before. Yeah, he's a phenomenon that way, and make me laugh. Yeah, I mean, the guy could make you laugh. So we've been fortunate. The only thing we haven't done together is he's a pilot. And I used to fly small planes years ago until I came to the United States, and it scared the hell out of me. Ooh, there's too much traffic here. Ooh, I flew into, no, not good. But Frank and I, the only thing we haven't done together is fly. And I said, I don't know if I want to do that, but
maybe one day.
Maybe, yeah. But gee whiz, yeah, he's the best.
Yeah. Is there any moments where you reached out to him for advice for a certain voice? And again, has he ever reached out for you for any advice and voices?
I think the only way we communicate that way is how we respond to each other. Laughter.
Yeah.
And or he'd say, or
yeah.
That kind of.
Yeah, I believe there was an award show where he was telling a story about you both going back and forth doing dog voices.
Oh.
Yeah. That was great, right? And I had another question about how you got into voice acting. And it also just goes back to a story and a conversation that we've previously had about you growing up on a farm and actually talking to the animals. Can we give a little insight into that conversation that we had?
The most fun I ever had, I don't know, guys, girls, if you've ever been in a dairy barn where there's been a lot of cows, and they're being very quiet, they're kind of chewing their cud or finishing off a little bit of grain or hay or something, and you walk in and then you make a loud noise and they just all the heads look at you like this. Well, I saw that happen to me one time, and so I got the idea. I said, I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to be an officer in some foreign bad army. I'm going to have an accent of some kind, And I was like, I want your attention. And as I walk down the rows, they're all following me, and my eyes are following me. And I'd stop, and they'd stop, and I'd look this way, and they'd go, be quiet, I'm saying, I'm talking to you. Be quiet. Well, I had so much fun doing that. I did it on a turkey farm once. And I made a loud noise. I can't do the turkey, but something. But you make a loud noise and they all make a noise. And I said, be quiet! And they go. So I just found audiences everywhere I went, you know. Unfortunately, I used to find a great audience in the classroom. And that got me into a lot of trouble. Yeah, a lot of trouble.
That's awesome. You're so amazing at voice, and I mean, you mentioned already comedy and acting, but did you ever see yourself doing something other than voice acting when you were young?
Well, not really. To be honest with you, I spend so much time in detention for making sounds, I figured I'd better get out there and make some money to pay for all of this, you know. So no, I never ever contemplated anything else. I was too short to play football, too short to play basketball. There wasn't much money in anything else, you know, really. And certainly not tennis, you know, or volleyball, nothing. But making people laugh, that was so much fun. And when I remember one time when I had a couple of beers for the first time in my life, I got really funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, I made so many. I was on a ship, and I was on a ship going to Europe, and it was a summer thing on a small ship, and I made these people laugh. I swear, I said, this is the way to make a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I've also done stand-up comedy as well, and that reward that you feel from the laugh is so much better than, you know, an applause, in my opinion. It is very, and I love making people laugh, having a good time, making sure everyone's having. I like them to have fun with me. You know what I mean? Because it's such to share that experience. It's so rewarding. I wanted to ask, because I know that a lot of people probably ask you advice about voice acting and how to get into the industry. I wanted to ask, what key lessons can you try to impart to younger voice actors?
Well, it's probably the one thing you can teach yourself. You can listen to other people, and then you can try to emulate the sounds or the feelings that person best connects with you, with your sensibilities and your feelings. And you have a tape recorder. You can always analyze how close you were to the original of that you were listening to. And to find things that inspire you and to discover by reading with children how you can get their attention through the sound of words. And their eyes will tell you, and eventually they'll go to sleep and you'll say, I bored them to death. But no, you won't. You try to read them in such a way, and you start to learn how words should sound and how best words are pronounced, or how much volume there is to it. And over the years, you will discover that reading somebody else's poetry or writing your own poetry, writing your own message, you'll find that your honesty is what makes it all believable. And so it's that sense of honesty, the way you feel it, and when you get to the point where you can be satisfied, which I don't think you ever will be, I'm certainly not. I think it's a hard road to travel, but it's an exciting road, and I think it's always a challenge. And I'm eventually going to record something that's public domain. I won't say which one it is, but I'm going to do it in my voice, which it will be an impersonation of my brother Larry's voice. So I'm going to come up with that one day and slip it on the internet and see what the reaction is. But I'd like to do more of that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something that we all look forward to seeing from you.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Another thing that I'm very interested in is the show Invincible on Amazon Prime, which is funny that Prime, Optimus Prime. You voiced the Viltrumite counselor leader Thetis. I wanted to ask if you had a process of developing a new character, and also I wanted to know, I think Invincible is amazing, what you thought it was to be a part of that show.
Well, I don't know a lot about it. I don't know a lot about the character, Thaddeus or Thaddeus.
Yeah.
I haven't had to say my own name yet, so I don't know.
True story, yes.
But he's quite an interesting guy. You know, he's a tough guy.
Oh yeah. So when you get a character like that, I mean, how do you come up with the voice? Do you try to draw from other voices that you've done in the past, or do you just go based on the character reading?
Well, he's older, so I try to make him a little older, and my name is Thaddeus. Is that right? You tell me more. I'd like to know more. Interesting. He's old, and I'm not sure this is exactly the voice. I've only done one show.
Yeah, it sounds like it to me, yeah.
But he's old, so I'm looking for age. I'm looking for a little, gravel.
Right. Do they show you what the character looks like in advance?
Yeah,
or?
kinda.
Okay.
Kinda. But he's interesting in the sense that he's been a tough guy in his back.
Oh, absolutely. He's very powerful.
He's responsible for a few million DOAs. You know what I mean? Gee, boys. I said, who is this guy? This is not Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah.
But hopefully he will turn into Optimus Prime. But we won't know that until
We'll have to
line.
wait and see. Yeah.
Yeah, wait and see.
Well, so far from what I've seen, and of course hearing your voice, it was very nice to see your performance, and I look forward to seeing more of that.
Well, I'm grateful. Thank you. That's encouragement.
Yeah. Does anyone watch Invincible? You gotta watch it. Now that you know Peter's involved, you gotta check it out.
Yeah,
It's a really
you gotta
great
check
show.
it out, man.
For sure.
You got a question?
Oh, we got some questions from the audience. We do have about 7 minutes left if we want to really quickly ask some questions, absolutely, and then I'll end with one. So I think we'll probably only get to a few of these, honestly. If you don't get a chance to ask your question here, I apologize in advance.
How's it going, Peter? I'm sure a friend of mine I know when you was Eeyore yesterday, so that's his on answer. Anyway, another question that was, I'm pretty sure all of you might know about, you also got the voice Eeyore for Disney. What was it like hearing the voice you sat in the present donkey that we all know and love?
Thanks for noticing me. How bother? Not that anybody cares, mind you. I remember doing Eeyore. Long time ago. I woke myself up. Yeah. Welcome back. Thank you. I didn't hear a question in there. I just went off on my own.
Just what was it like voicing Eeyore?
Oh, he was fun. He really fun. I remember I did one in one of the movies where he's carrying a grandfather clock or a table or something, and he has to walk down and through a creek, and he has to go underwater and sing a song at the same time. So he was singing, I don't know what the words were, but I'm just going down and sing my song, and I'm getting down into the water. The other side. And they cut it out of the movie.
They cut it out? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you for your question. Again, we have about 5 minutes, so as quickly as we can.
What was your favorite animated movie or TV show when you were growing up?
Favorite animated show when you were growing up?
Oh, we didn't have a lot. I grew up in Montreal, Canada, and they had a program called the Plouffe family, a French-Canadian family, and they did it in English, and they were hysterical. And they talk like that, you know, because they don't pronounce the TH, everything is this, that, and those things, you know? So, and the grandmother talked, the mother talked, the the sons talk, the uncles talk, the grandfathers talk like this, and they all had their different sounds, you know. And they were hysterical, and they were legitimately funny. The French are very funny people. They really are. I mean, well, so that would be one of them. And then I did a show called Funny You Should Say That for the CBC, and we had guests on a live radio, and we had a 22-piece orchestra with a live sound effects guy with that broken glass mirror, you know, and all the stuff and all the instruments to make sound. And we had guests coming up from Hollywood, and one of them was Jonathan Winters, the genius comedian. And if you don't know Jonathan Winters, look him up because he's hysterical. He's gone, God rest his soul, but believe me, he was probably one of the most instrumental people in my life and one of the most funniest people. I got his album when I was just 14 years old, 15 years old, and my brother and I used to just laugh hysterically at this man. And as a matter of fact, my brother Larry had an album when he was on his ship over to Vietnam. He had an album, and as a good reward to his guys, he had a portable record player. And when things went well, if it was a guy's birthday or something, even in combat, he would take that album out, wind the thing up, and play it in combat, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Unfortunately, this is going to be our last question right here. We have another panel here afterwards, but yeah, why not? We'll do a few more. We'll run it. Let's go.
So I want to ask about how did you get the gig to be the announcer for Toonami? And also with all the physiological stuff that you say on it, was that something that you got from a script, or are you into philosophy yourself?
I don't know. I didn't have to audition for it. They would come to me. Pretty much that's the way the announcing world went. I was with NBC, CBS, ABC, and I launched Fox as an announcer for their drama and for some of the comedies and stuff like this. But it just happens, you know. They call you up and say, "Would you do Tsunami?" And I said, "Sure," not even knowing what it was. So I hope that answers.
So you were the first person to contact you, like, yeah.
No, I was one of them, you know. If they didn't like me, they're out.
All right, thank you so much. All right, hi.
We've met in Dallas. Nice to see you again. I wanted to ask, if Optimus Prime is almost always an 18-wheeler truck, if you could have him be something else, what would you have Optimus Prime be?
A Bentley.
Just a quick personal question. I was wondering if you had any musical recommendations, or some of who your favorite musicians might be.
Any musical recommendations, or who some of your favorite musicians might be?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm a classic guy. I love the classics. I love orchestras. I love the old classic orchestra, like Benny Goodman and stuff like this. I've enjoyed over the years. I used to be a disc jockey in Montreal, and I loved Chicago. I loved a lot of them. I even liked the Beatles. The Beach Boys were one of my favorites because they make music, you know. And today I find a lot of music isn't really music at all. It's something else. So, but yeah, I enjoy a good classical symphony, and right all the way to the Beach Boys. I enjoyed Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, for singers. You know, I'm an old-fashioned guy.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, this is going to be our last question right here. Go for it.
Before I get into my quick question, I would like to ask for a small request. If you could give a shout out for my buddy Joseph.
Hey, Joseph, let's roll.
My buddy will appreciate that. So, my question is, have you ever met the original voice actor for Optimus Primal, Gary Chalk? And if given the chance, would do a voice session with him as Primal and you as Prime? Because I'm speaking for the fandom here.
Yeah.
That would be something to die for, hearing Gary Chalk and you as Primal and Prime respectively.
Wow, that would be fun. Yeah, Gary's a great guy. We did Transformers together, you know. But when they bumped me off, Gary is one of you know, others that well, I don't know why they call them by other names. They're doing it today even, so God knows what they're thinking. But no, that'll be an interesting meetup, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And before we leave, some parting words for the crowd, perhaps in the voice of Optimus Prime.
My name is Optimus Prime. Hold on to your dreams. The future is built on dreams. One shall stand, one shall fall, till all are one. Autobots, transform! Roll out!
Thank you so much. One more